You want your arms hugging the sleeves like in the movies and are tired of having small biceps and triceps. I know how you feel right now. Back in the day, I did not particularly have developed arms, but through science-based training techniques, I have been able to make my arms one of the strong points of my body. I want the same progress for you, so I will discuss 4 simple techniques you can use in your workouts to speed up your arms development. These are techniques based on recent research that the average gym goer is not familiar with. I have been applying these techniques myself and to my clients' workouts with great success. To really help you out, at the end of this video, I will also show you a simple training example of how you can incorporate these 4 techniques in your routine. The first technique is about exercise selection. We want to train exercises that mostly place resistance on your biceps and triceps when they are in a stretched position. Most people think about a free weight bicep curl or a tricep pushdown when training arms is the goal. While these are solid exercises, they mostly train your biceps and triceps while they are in a contracted position. With a dumbbell bicep curl, the resistance is the highest once your elbow is at a 90-degree angle. At the stretched position of the exercise, there is minimal tension on the biceps. With a tricep pushdown, the resistance at the bottom and mid-range is the highest. Your arms do not go up high enough to fully stretch the triceps. So if you only train simple curls and pushdowns, you miss out on the benefits of stretch-mediated hypertrophy. Especially for the biceps and triceps, we see in the research that training your biceps and triceps while they are in a stretched position helps boost muscle growth, and not just by a little bit. A 2022 study compared the effectiveness of a tricep pushdown and overhead extension. Because the overhead extension places more tension on the triceps in the stretched position, the participants saw 40% increased triceps muscle growth compared to a typical tricep pushdown. Another 2022 study compared dumbbell curls and preacher curls. Again, because the preacher curl places the most resistance on the biceps when they are stretched, the participants experienced almost double the bicep muscle growth over a 9-week training period when they focused on the preacher curl. So whether or not you train your arms in a stretched position makes a substantial difference from an arms growth perspective. If you currently still focus mostly on simple free weight bicep curls or pushdowns, you have a huge opportunity for new arms muscle growth if you start doing more stretched focused exercises, like the face-away cable curls and preacher curls for the biceps. For the triceps, incorporate overhead extensions with cables or a free weight, and incline skull crushers are awesome as well to focus on getting stretch-mediated hypertrophy benefits. Now, there still is a time and place for free weight bicep curls and tricep pushdowns. But if you want a boost in muscle growth, temporarily perform mostly stretch-focused arm exercises. The second technique is about how you distribute your arms training volume throughout the week. Volume refers to how many sets you train each muscle group per week. It is, for instance, very tempting to perform all your biceps exercises in one training day, to completely hammer your biceps. But if while performing your last exercise you can barely move your arms, you are probably doing too much. As with any muscle group, also for the biceps and triceps, progressive overload is important. Improving your performance matters more than chasing a pump or muscle burn. Let's imagine you have a full back day of doing weighted pull-ups, one-arm rows, cable rows, and the lat pull-down. Now you may want to finish off this workout with some hard biceps training by also doing face-away cable curls and preacher curls. But because with your back exercises the biceps have already been trained quite hard, you probably will not be able to perform that well on your bicep curls. Do not underestimate how much the biceps get worked during our pull exercises. In a 2021 study, doing only dumbbell rows was able to get about 50% of the muscle growth you experience with doing dumbbell bicep curls. So you could argue that for every set of a back exercise you do, you perform half a set for your biceps. This is why I recommend distributing your biceps training volume. If you train the back very hard, place most of your bicep exercises on another day. The same applies to your triceps. If you have a full push day with the bench press, incline press, and the overhead press, your triceps will get trained. To maintain good performance on your triceps isolation exercises, allocate the triceps movements to a different training day. This is part of why I like to perform an upper-lower routine in my program. Instead of completely destroying one muscle group in a session, now the chest, back, and arms volume is distributed over 2 training days, and in every exercise I do, I can have better training performance. There is research to support that distributing your weekly volume for a muscle group over about 2 training days improves muscle development. Again, this has to do with the fact that when you distribute your volume, you can have better performance each time you train. At the end of this video, I will show you a simple upper body training example. The third technique is about having a strong mind-muscle connection. The science-based community used to think that a mind-muscle connection was simply bro science. That was until a 2018 study by Dr. Schoenfeld was published. This study found that mentally focusing on squeezing and engaging your biceps while doing curls improved biceps muscle growth by up to 40%. The theory behind this is quite logical. Just curling a weight up is quite different compared to intentionally using your biceps and triceps during the isolation exercises. Growing your arms is not just about the right exercise selection and increasing the weights you lift. The way you perform these exercises is just as important. If I accidentally use a half range of motion on my overhead extensions by not lowering my arms enough, the triceps will not get their stretch-mediated hypertrophy benefit. So while performing biceps and triceps exercises, mentally focus on engaging these muscle groups and having the right technique. With the right exercise selection, distributing your training volume throughout the week for better performance, and having strict standardized form, you are well on your way to building your arms. If you run these 3 techniques for about 3 to 4 months, it's normal that eventually you start seeing your progress slowing down a little bit. Oftentimes people then think they need to do more. Add more biceps and triceps exercises to further advance your gains, right? Not really. Before increasing the number of exercises you do, I recommend you give this 4th technique a try. And that is adding stretched half repetitions on the last set of your arms isolation exercises. Just to be clear, doing full range of motion and having strict technique is still important. The half repetitions I'm speaking about now, you do on top of the sets with strict technique. In the past 12 months, there has been promising research specifically on the triceps and calves showing that stretch-focused half repetitions is an effective way to boost muscle growth. For training your biceps, this means that at the end of your last set of cable curls, add 3 to 5 half repetitions in the stretched part of the range of motion. For the triceps, at the end of your last overhead extension set, also add 3 to 5 half repetitions focusing on that stretched position. Because oftentimes when you reach muscle failure on biceps and triceps training, you can still perform some half reps, it's just that the full repetition has become too challenging. The half repetitions is a fantastic tool to increase your training volume with a high level of effectiveness without having to perform more arm exercises in your routine. Because the half repetitions are focused on the stretched part and you basically take your arm muscles beyond failure, the half reps take your muscle growth to the next level. So let's now look into an example of how you can incorporate all 4 training techniques in 2 upper body days. As you can see, we still have a focus on compound exercises like the rows and the bench press that will indirectly train your biceps and triceps. For our isolation movements, I have stretch-focused exercises like the face-away cable curls, cable overhead extensions, preacher curls, and skull crushers. The training volume is divided over 2 workout days, so you have good energy with each biceps and tricep exercise you do. And lastly, on the biceps and triceps exercises, you see I have 4 sets instead of 3. The 4th set refers to the half repetitions I was talking about that you do right after the 3rd set to train your biceps beyond failure. You can take this template and change it to your preferences. If you want something more personalized and consult with me about your fitness journey, you can apply to my one-on-one online coaching service, and I will gladly help you take your fitness to the next level. For now, that's all for today's video. I hope you now have some clear steps on how you can further improve your arms development. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Also, if you found this video helpful, then leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and I will see you in the next one.